Okay. Where's my music? Great, now I just can't hear music. Why can't I hear music? Now. Hey, where did I put my... 1, 2. Okay. What are we doing? Let's see what we're doing. Kind of something similar to last night. But I've changed my microphone. So I don't know if that's noticeable, but I bought a new microphone. I don't know if I have it close enough, but it kind of is where it is right now. I can't really move it much closer, but it's supposed to be a much better microphone than the one that is in the webcam. It seems okay. Okay. Well, let me change it, right? So this is the it's a Razer Siren V2 Pro or something. Razer Siren V2 Pro. So that's that one. And let me just go back and maybe I might be able to also change the sensitivity of it. Let me just see if I can do that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Change 1, 2, 1, 2. Change 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Change 1, 2, 1, 2. That's too much. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, now just oh no, that's too much. All right, so now we're just talking and talking, talking. We're talking, talking, talking. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. They're going to go a little higher. They're going a little higher. Talking about. That's it. Okay. All right. All right. Maybe okay. I clapped. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. All right. So that's this. That is this mic, and I'm going to switch it over now to my other mic, which is the mic on the old webcam. Right. So this is the new mic. Um. Okay. And now we're going to change it over to the old mic. All right. And then you tell me. I mean, hopefully it's going to be the. So you tell me what you think of the difference. Okay, so now we're on the other mic. All right, so this is the old HD webcam mic that I was using. This is the old HD one. So this is not the new one. So HD1, new Razer Siren V2 Pro, Siren V2 Pro, and then oh God, I'm losing it now. And then webcam again, webcam again, webcam again, webcam, webcam, webcam. Razer Siren 2, Razer Siren 2. And then we'll just leave it on Siren 2, and then just tell me what did you think there? What difference wise? Now, if you were listening to the Stream Master, are you normally on headphones, or are you normally on like just your phone, or oh, it picks up some noise on headphones? Okay, pick up some noise. Yeah, I wonder can you hear the fan of the computer? Okay, let me change the computer to balanced power and see, does it go? It says best performance now. Let me just change it to balanced. I don't know if that'll make a difference because I got so much stuff connected to it right now. Okay. Okay. Now I've changed it to balance. I can't hear the fan anymore. Now what can you hear? Definitely the fan. Interesting. Okay, so this mic is so sensitive that it picks up the fan of the laptop. All right, well, I guess that's kind of good. But I do wonder. Yeah, I do wonder what that means. Probably means that the whole thing is more sensitive. Now, let me walk over to the bench and see what it's like picking up sound from the bench. Okay, now I'm over at the bench. I'm over at the bench. I'm talking at the bench. Is it as distant as it used to be? So now I'm back at my desk. Because you remember last night? Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Listen, we'll get started because I don't want to, I don't want to be screwing around like I was so much last night. But yeah, so this is a live stream, so you're kind of getting to do the, the dirty bits with me. I haven't really done any prep because when I come out here, I don't really have a lot of time, in the evening. So I just kind of just go at it and do what I can. But here's where we're at. Here's what I discovered, right? So, so last night, what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at this digital TV tuner chip. We are trying to see, hey, will this TV tuner chip be able to be transplanted into a Sega Game Gear TV tuner, which is here. And there's a couple of prerequisites for us being able to do that. So obviously, size-wise, I'm probably, if I can make this work, I'll probably just like tack it onto the back or tack it onto the side like this, 3D print something. But that's not really the main issue. The main issue right now is that the Game Gear, if you take this apart, this is way back in the 90s, so it doesn't have any sort of signal input that is encrypted or anything like that. It's just got what we call, or what I hope is a composite input. I think the composite input is on pin 4. If I'm, sorry, not the composite input. There's a composite signal that then gets split up into a signal that the Game Gear then processes. So I think what we want to do is I want to find a composite signal on this, a composite signal on this TV tuner that can be fed to the composite signal on the Sega Game Gear, which then the Sega Game Gear chips will process. Or for actual composite. Actual composite. Because, hang on, let me see here. Is it here? It's external antenna. AV out, shown. Oh, is there an AV? There's an AV in on this. There's not an AV out. There's a tint. RF, no, it's actual composite. There should be a composite on this. Which I guess we could also test, but I did read it up and I was fairly sure there was a composite on this, which is kind of why I started this project. So if that's wrong, well then we might be back to square one. But we can always research that. I think the the most important thing that we figure out now is even it's most likely we'll have to get a composite signal or some sort of like unencrypted signal into this Game Gear so that we can then short circuit the Game Gear to put that composite signal instead of the one it would have put through with the analog. So what we're probably going to need to do then is find the composite signal on this board. Now, to find the composite signal on this board, I looked up all the part numbers, I looked up everything, I looked up this LCD screen, right? And we can take a look at that as well. This was just some stuff I did on my phone today, and I didn't find a whole ton. The chip that's on the board is a LG Electronics chip that I think is just undocumented. It's something you probably only get the data sheet on this if you are, excuse me, if you're like a manufacturer. So, so when you look at the chip here, we have this is the board here. When you look at the actual board, you'll see LG Electronics LG 2500U, right? LG Electronics 2500. You can look that up all day on the internet. You're not going to find out anything about that chip. At least I couldn't. The LG 2500U, it brought up some stuff about like Ryzen graphics cards, but that's just a clash of numbers. It's not this chip. So this chip is basically what controls the whole digital TV, but there's no detail on what the pins actually output, right? So what I'm hoping is that we can figure out what actually is being outputted on these pins, and then see if there's a composite output. If there's a composite output, then we're in business. If there's not, then maybe this actually won't work. And I should have thought about that before I bought this thing, to be honest. Because there are other types of TV device that I could have bought that I would be guaranteed that there was a composite on it, because it would have had an actual composite out or an AV out, and this didn't. But the reason that I bought this one was because it was the smallest digital TV I could find. And I figured the smaller the digital TV, the smaller the footprint of the board. And then the easier it would be for me to get it into the Game Gear. Some of the composite like TV digital tuners that I found that did have composite outs were freaking huge. Like they're like set-top boxes. So that's not useful for this project. So that's kind of why I kind of stuck, and I was like, okay, let me take a look and see what's going on here. So so anyway, we need to find composite out on this thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just go and turn the board around here, and I'm just going to scan the board for anything that says like CVBS, V out. What else am I looking for? CVBS, V out. There's a bunch of different sort of like clues that would tell me that there's a composite out. But we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, and I'll tell you why. Because the actual LCD, which is an, see, can you see it here? See, the GoPro I don't think is the best at doing the old focus. I don't even know if it does focus, to be honest. But on the, whoops, sorry, GoPro. Anyway, but on the actual code on the LCD, you can look that up, and we will look at it here. And it is LQ35NC111. Okay, and here we go. This is a chip from 2007, which of course matches our LCD. But when I looked at this, I was hoping, one of the pins would be composite CVBS out. But when I went down and found the pin out, it was kind of disappointing. I'll show you why. Yeah, there's no CVBS, there's no composite out on the LCD. But what that means is, if there's no, well, then how is the LCD outputting? So, oh, well, it's kind of tricky. It actually outputs or the individual RGB signals, which, yeah, pure RGB HV, yeah. So Yeah, look, blue data bit, blue data bit, green data bit, green data bit. Yeah. So when I looked at that, I was like, okay, I'm screwed. We're not gonna. There's not. You need a driver board, right? Exactly. So what we're gonna do is before we give up on this tuner, and then I can put it back together, and maybe we can just use it as a digital TV. Um, well, I mean that's all really can be used for. It only cost me like $20, so I'm not that disappointed. But you know, there's not a lot I can do here. The other pins like 45, there are some pins here. See where it says 7 not used. There's internal test pins here as well. Internal test use, it says not connected, not connected internal test use. This one here, 51, internal note 1, note 15. Okay, for RGB input, both sync mode, desync are supportive, desync mode is used. 3 usually pull high. Okay. Serial RGB format. Control the input data format. 5. Wait a second. Top electrode, Y1. Top electrode, Y1. Pin 5? Oh no, it's Note 5. Note 1 and 5. Control the input data format. Interesting. So, what input formats are there? 001 serial RGB data format. CCIR 656 data format. 640 RGB. Operating frequencies. Look, so it looks like the LCD board can take a lot of different inputs. I don't know if any of those are composite. But it wouldn't matter really. Or would it? Yeah, I guess it would. Well, it depends. I mean, it doesn't matter because I do think we need to. Oh, look at all these Oh, these are the timing characteristics. Okay. Let me just see if I can search in this 28 pages. Can I search for VBS? No. Composite. No. Okay. So anyway, I don't think there is. Yeah, composite analog and only on a single line you need a decoder. Yeah. But the thing is, the Game Gear, as far as I'm aware, right? Let's see, Game Gear TV tuner schematic. Yeah, see somebody was doing a lot of this LCD protocol decoding here. Right, TV tuner adapter. Yeah, see video chroma signal processor. Yeah, just give me one sec. Yeah, you can see this, right? Yeah. Well, I guess it's a little small, but that's not what I'm trying to control plus. Let me just zoom in a little bit and I'll show you. Okay, functional description. Okay, so the TV tuner consists of a TV tuner digital board joined with a ribbon cable. TV tuner pins mostly analog circuitry, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, look. The digital video PCB uses the M501 to convert composite video to analog RGB, right? The M51348 outputs composite video, right? So basically, the output of one of these chips is composite, and then the Game Gear board chipset converts the composite back to what something that the Game Gear can display. So basically, all I have to do is get composite on that pin, if that makes sense. Um, and that's why I'm looking for composite out of this board, you know. So so yeah, the composite being analog and only a single line I was aware of. It's just uh, so anyway, I'll back up a little bit. So the LCD here only takes the raw lines of RGB. However, what I want to check is, and this is where you might think I'm crazy, but before I totally give up on this, it is possible that, hey, sure, this is a board that is going. The LCD they selected here is this raw RGB, but it is possible that one of the pins on the LG Electronics actually does have a composite output as some sort of test or as some kind of just added into that chips in case they were going to use it for like on a TV tuner that had a AV out. You know what I mean? So that's why I wasn't going to totally give up on it. In that, like, sure, this one they used a LCD that's just using the raw, but it doesn't mean necessarily that that there's absolutely no composite signal on this board, right? So what I was going to do before I abandoned this particular board as a donor was to probe a few pins for composite. And to do that, here's what I was going to do. I was going to take this cable, create a ground and a jumper pin from the composite cable into my little blue box up here on the right, and then we would probe and see, can we get the digital signal from the TV out on my composite out here. Sound like a plan? Sound like something that you think is not going to be able to be doable? I think it's I think it's a reasonable kind of a plan. I mean, I don't know if it's the best plan in the world, but that's what I was thinking. So anyway, back to the microscope, because let's not do something stupid and start probing for things when there's already a test point marked CVBS. So that's what I'm going to do first. So let's just scan through it and see. I know we've scanned things together before, Master, and we found stuff. So, you know, uh, you never know what we'll find. So I'm just going to kind of go horizontally across the board. There's the LCD input. Those little fat traces there on the right. I thought they were going to be a composite. I guess not. Not sure what. I mean, I'm not sure what that chip is. That chip is probably. It's probably well, it's some kind of IC. I don't see a test point marked CVBS. It's got some switches there. Okay, yeah, it's just all the silk screening is just for caps. Silk screening is just for caps. Right, keep going. Do wonder what that marking means, but yeah, CB416 FB409. It's ferrite bead capacitor. I don't know what CB is. More ferrite beads. What's that TDA 8295? TDA 8295 chip. Digital Global Standard Low IFD modulator for analog TV and FM radio. Low IFD modulator for analog TV and FM radio. Are we onto something here? What does that do? Um, 8295. Okay, where's the data sheet? Digital glow over standard, blah, blah, blah. Multi-center vision low and sound low IF signal. FM mono sound processing. Okay. Oh, it's a tuner chip. Okay, yeah, we're not going to get composite out of it. Oh, wait a sec. CVBS and SSAF are audio output with simple post filter. Does this have a... This might be it. Huh. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna spend a little more time on this. So that's interesting then. So video equalizer rate setting, Nyquist filter, PCTV applications, DVD recorders. Okay, so well, that's it. Like, let's probe that thing. That'll be interesting. Now, here's the stuff though, right? I was thinking about this. Just because there's a CVBS output, it doesn't mean that it's the entire signal. It could be for the overlay. It could be with. It might not be the entire because there's two things on the board, right? There's a menu system and there's a TV signal, and we need to find the one that actually has both the composite that has both the TV overlay and the menu overlay output and the TV output. So we don't know exactly how this thing works, but all right, I need the pin out. Give me the pin. Oh, here we go. V out. V out. Okay. Terminal 1 index area. Okay, so let's just terminal 1 index area. I mean, I think we found it. Definitely, like, put it this way, it's one of the most promising things. We kind of have to start here. But it looks like my idea wasn't all that flawed. Of hey, let's let's take a look and see what we can find on the board that we can probe. So I think we'll have to look at what VI out N and VI out P are, because they look like the ones to probe, right? Pin allocation table. Okay, I need to know what VI out TN is, probably what it is. Let's have a look. Where's the pin? Where's the V? Right, I out. Okay, there are 7 of 77 instances of that, so we need to figure out what that is. Pin description. Positive analog current output of the video output. Negative analog current output of the video output. Okay. Unsure of whether it's positive or negative, or if it matters. Let me see if I can find anything on that. Let me see. Positive analog current output of the video output. I feel like that's going to be the right one. Yeah. Okay. Where's ground on this thing? Okay, I think we should use Vout plus. I think we should try Vout plus. Okay. I need more data. Oh boy, what have I done now? Okay, maybe I've made the screen bigger or not. Okay. Anyway, Vout plus is very promising. I think that's our composite out. So what we need to do now is I need to probe that along with a board ground. Okay, so let's get some. I need to get some. I need to get some probe wires. All right. I'm gonna need to heat up soldering iron. Because we are definitely gonna need to solder some stuff. Definitely. Now, I don't think we'll get to do any game gearing connections tonight, but we might be able to just basically do the investigation to see if we've got, a good place to solder onto. So we got to find out. We got to find V out negative. What I'm going to do is to let me see what I'll do. Let me just delete this for a minute. Just delete the GoPro. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in the scope. Okay. Okay, let's find where this pin is at. Okay. Let's get this board. Well, that was luck. Just came across that chip, but I just scanned the board from left to right, so I guess it wasn't that much luck. I mean, I was going to eventually find it, but it was interesting that it was the first chip that we found. So it looks like I have it oriented the right way because it looks like this, where that arrow is pointing, is most likely pin 1, plus the dots up there. So that's likely pin 1. So I probably have it oriented the right way. And so it's just a matter now of understanding where my ground is. I mean, obviously I can find a common ground on the I can find a common ground on the board. So what is it? V out negative. So V out positive is 4 pins in. Just get my. I'm just gonna get the soldering iron going. V out. Let's see. Maybe this will work. Maybe this won't work. Whoop. How much space am I gonna have? Ooh, not a lot. Okay, I've got the right gauge wire though. So it's gonna have to be 4 pins in. But really, you know what? I don't need to necessarily. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my probe pin here because and wire it to my my thing here first. So I've pulled this guy off. I'm going to solder him to the center pin. Although it's going to be tricky to do that now with this tiny frickin' soldering iron tip that I have on this is puny. The one that I've got on this right now, so I don't think it's going to do much good. But we can see we don't need it to be too bad. We can tin the end of this. I'm just going to feed this some more solder. What I really need to do is solder my not work. I'm going to bond to that, is it? I need a lot of solder, I think. Okay. nice. Yeah, that'll do for. It's not pretty, but it'll work. Okay, so that'll work for the tip probe. So what I have now is I have a probe that is going to the tip of the the video composite output, and now I need a ground, which we will also add. So I'm going to feed some solder onto the ground shield. Again, have to heat this up a lot. Okay. Okay. All right, so I got my ground wire. So now I just need to find a ground on the board. So that I can use that to, well, ground my ground. And then we'll probe with the other one. Okay, so let's clip. Let's clip. Okay, 1 sec. Oh my God. Okay. To just cut this off. All right, that's all right. I want to just find a ground. Now, where is ground on this board? Well, probably a variety of places. There should be some pretty obvious ground points. The chip itself. Huh, where's the ground for the chip? Oh, interesting. Actually, don't see the ground on a chip. Uh, okay. Oh, okay. They're not marked as ground, but they actually are ground. Okay. So pin. There's a lot of ground pins. Pin 12 is ground. Pin 5 is a ground. So pin 4 is actually, so pin 5 is a ground. Okay, well let's probe pin 5 and then other parts of the board. Um, so it's, yeah, actually you can see there, look, pin 5, it looks like it's a test point. It looks like it's a test point, so basically we can just look to see if there's other parts of the board that we can probe. Resting. Okay, so we're going to need the micro. Give me 1 second. We're going to need the micro. I need my little miniature spiky things for this job. Okay. All right, so I think what we'll do now is we can maybe put this here. I mean, obviously, it would be better to have a one that really. All right. Okay. So we've got to do, and we'll turn off the soldering iron just for a minute because that's bitten me in the ass many times. Now, all right, so this guy. Sorry, okay, I'm just probing around for a ground. Huh. Oh, sorry, I actually got out of it there. 1 second now. I need to really get in this. I really need to get in this test point. All right. That's interesting. Oh, I know where I'll find ground. Okay, there it is. Why is it not here though? Oh, it is too. Pin is that though? Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong pin here. Sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. Lord, what is going on? Okay, 1 second. All right, I might have found a ground. I want to get a ground that I can just really easily connect to, so. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. We're just gonna go to we're just gonna go to negative battery leg. All right. Forgot there was a battery leg on this thing. Okay, so iron back on, and then negative battery leg is here. Okay. This could be fun, Master, if this works. I mean, look, the likelihood of it working maybe is low, but I think it's worth a shot, you know? Okay, I have it plugged into analog now. So that blue screen in the middle that's on the right, that should light up with the Alveo audio or the Alveo output that we're looking for if what I'm thinking is right. So okay, let me just do it here under scope. Right, so let's ground this no, this is going to be tricky because that's a lot of thermal mass right now. It's just going to be the wrong pin to be doing this with, but let's just try and get it heated up enough. Yeah, you can see there, it takes a lot of heat to get this going. The heat is happening. Yeah, I just need a bigger. And there's a lot of thermal mass on this thing. We need more heat. Yeah, maybe that was a bit ambitious. Oh, okay. Well, it did work eventually. Maybe it's not great, but it's not great. But I think it's enough to. Oh, it's not. Okay. Let's find a better ground point because I don't want to change that tip right now. Let's see if one of these other test points is God, that's so annoying. Okay, so that's grand. Okay, so we will solder to that. Okay, I need to tin that more. That's my bad. All right. Okay, so we have our test rig. Now, better off using a car backup screen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you see, that's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking at, frankly. But they're too big, and the boards, like you can imagine, right? The car backup screen has so many connections on it that the PCB is physically bigger, like much bigger. So, I mean, if you can find a miniature 3.5-inch backup screen, then that'd be a better option. But this is how I went. This is how I ended up going with it. But you are right. The car backup screens would have composite out, so definitely an option to look into. Because if this doesn't work, then we got a little bit of a problem. Okay. All right. So while we're probing here, I'm probably going to just leave it. I'll leave it here. Now, what we're going to have to do to get this working, well, it's going to be interesting, right? Because where's the front panel of this thing? The front panel. Okay, let me look the front. I have to look at the front panel now to see what these buttons used to do, right? So the buttons. So the buttons, menu is the top button. So if I press that button on the menu, I should still get something. And when we move the power in and out, it should bring up the Alveo screen. But the thing is, while we're probing, we kind of want something on screen all the time, which is not going to be the case. So we're going to have to power it up and then and then just try and get lucky, because I just powered it up there. So this board is now board should now be online, right? Now my guess is that if I probe the right pin, there's no LED or anything, so it's hard for me to tell that this thing is online, right? But what I should happen is why is that? Yeah, that's better. What should happen is if I probe the right pin, which let's just double check again, is pin 4. Is it pin 4? No, it's not pin 4. Well, then what is it? Hang on. Oh, sorry. No, it's pin 14. It's 4 in, so pin 14, which is V out positive. So if this thing is on, then pin 14, which is the fourth pin in, which is, you know, well, I gotta be so careful here, but is this guy, right? That would be him, right? That would, let me just try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, now let's just check to see have I switched it on correctly, because that was also a tricky thing, because there's Auvio. So if you've got Auvio here, sorry, I'm just trying to orient this thing here and see what way this works. So Auvio should be here, yeah, and then the power's over there, and then that would mean that on is this way. So off is this way, and on is this way. So pulling it on towards me pulls it on. Oh, it's not on. Okay, it's on now. Whoops. Okay, now it's supposed to be on now. So now let's just be very careful, and let's probe. God, I gotta get this light out of the way. So yeah, that's not that light's perfect. Okay, so watch the blue screen, because I actually can't watch it while I'm doing this. I don't see anything. Interesting. Okay, there's nothing. Huh. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna see. Just going to get at the scope here. Now to get the scope, let me just see if I can get the scope to work first before I do anything crazy. Alright, so 1 sec, I just gotta ground the scope for 1 sec. Second here, is this thing? Let's see what's going on here. Well, the scope says it's switched on. For sure. Just yeah, okay, so we got voltage. This scope, it can be tricky. Let me see if I can get a better paint on it. I don't think I have a smaller pin probe than that for the scope. Just give me 1 second. What I might be able to do is just get another probe. Yeah, let me put the scope on this. I'm gonna put the scope on the ring. There we go. So now, let's see what the scope says. Oh, wow, I can feel those things getting hot, those resistors. what the resolution is of this thing. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, hang off these pins. Just don't feel like there's anything coming off that pin. There's nothing going to the... Interesting. Let's take... Interesting. Do I actually have a test point for that, I wonder? Like, I wonder if that is a test point for that line. See, it's very hard to tell, but... All right, so no look there, which is interesting. Okay, I'm not sure there. Let me just plug it out for a second, just in case, causes some other problem. Okay, we're going to set up. Sorry, I'm just playing with this thing for a minute. Okay. I think I have it set up now right. So let's just see. Okay. Let's probe this little chip again. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that doesn't output a picture if it's not tuned in. That would make sense. Maybe it doesn't output a composite output. It's only the menus that output until it's actually tuned. Which is unfortunate because I get no reception here. So, okay. Well, maybe that's as far as I can go then today. Ooh. Oh, interesting. They're saying the signal might be disabled. Okay. Let me see something here, because this is a good plan. Let's put the LCD back in for a minute. Okay, now let's I'm just gonna put the LCD over here, and you may or may not be able to see it, but well, you probably definitely won't be able to see it, to be honest, but let's just see what happens. That's interesting. I don't see anything on the. Okay, I see it now. Okay, Fox 11, and then nothing. Okay. Weak signal, weak signal. So it's just going weak signal on the screen. And that's where I would expect us to be able to send. And that's just the OSD, you see. So there's probably a signal, maybe not a very specific one, but there might be a signal for the OSD that says weak signal. Now, wait a second. Wait a second. I have an idea. When it boots up, it shows Alveo on the screen. Would that go to? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, but we know it's working. It says weak signal. Okay, but we got a bit excited there. This was going to be the be all and end all. Because it needs to get the signal, I guess, before it will actually output something on that pin, is my guess now. And I just don't have enough, I don't have enough antenna here to get that signal to actually get it to work. So, well, let me switch off this switch off the soldering iron. What if I press menu? Will that... Is there anything I can do? Okay, so now I have the menu up. Might that be composite? No. It's a shame now. I'm sort of tearing up that pin as well by probing it. Look at the state of it. Yeah, it's pretty mangled. It's fine, but like, I mean, I'm kind of tearing it up a little. Okay, so pin 4. Pin 4. Boy, we need to figure out what's going on with that. Oh, is there a better place to probe that back here? Oh, there is, at the entrance to that resistor. Didn't notice that. Oh, I can probe it right here. Sorry, I just didn't see. I did not see. There's a probing point right here. Yeah, that's my bad. I obviously didn't need to be probing directly at the pin. It's just I didn't zoom out enough. Also makes it easier for the scope to get in there too. Yeah, so scope sees nothing on that pin. Absolutely nothing. So there's nothing on that pin. And that is 100% almost definitely, 100% almost definitely the right one. So what the hell? Right, what other buttons do I have on this thing that I haven't looked at? Yeah, I know. It is pretty cheap, isn't it? Now, what are you looking at there? What did you see? Oh, that's this. That is it. Yeah, the LQ 3.5, 40 bucks. Wow. Oh my God. Driver control board for Satlink satellite. AV input, DC 12 volt input. Driver good for Satlink satellite. Okay. Yeah, that's this thing. Yeah. Okay, so channel up, channel minus, menu, left and right, and then enter. Let's see what the menu does. What can I do from the menu? Can I do some tests or anything? Auto search. God, I'm gonna have to. Quick search, channel hop, EPG, channel edit, functions. What was that? Enter. Mode selection, analog, digital. You can select analog? How does that work? Can you actually select analog? So I'm just looking here. You can see on the scope it says analog or digital. Oh, functions. Factory reset. Brightness aspect ratio, preferred audio. Audio unknown, sound, audio enhance, closed caption, max battery, time zone key option, factory reset, yes, no. Mode selection, analog, digital. Functions, channel edit, auto search. I'm going to just do an auto search. I'm just going to do a auto search and see if it can find any channel. I very much doubt it will, but let's just see. Do I have the little? I guess I have the little receiver here, or the antenna. I don't think it's gonna find anything. Well, it's trying. It's a shame now. So what that means is that's not the composite out that I'm really looking for, because that looks like it's the composite out for the TV when the TV is tuning. No channels found. Okay, so let's just switch it off for a second. We can go back. But where is that going to, right? So let's just, if we trace that, right? So I'm probably going to give up on this now for the evening because I'm tired. But if we traced that down, right? So like that output, that video output composite is trying to go down to where? Because wherever it's going into might be joining it. What's this thing? What's this chip? AKM. It does look like it's going off into that chip, doesn't it? If it's going into that chip, maybe it comes out of that chip. Maybe that chip mixes the video. Let's see. AKM. Let's have a look. Maybe that chip mixes the video. So we're looking for an AKM AK8856VN chip. All right, no longer manufactured. Datasheet. What is it? NTS PAL video decoder. Okay. NTSC PAL video decoder. Okay. Decodes NTSC PAL composite video signals into digital video data. The outputs are ITU or BT. Okay. Decoder result is scaled to 6:1, VGA, SIF, rotated, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I guess this is probably what is giving out 60 competence in the decoding process. Okay, 10-bit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see what's it look like. What's the pin out? Okay, so okay. No connection need floating reserved for AKM testing. Okay, well, you see, I mean, it could be composite on one of those. All right. So that takes the TV's composite signal and then breaks it out into something else, which then feeds into this other chip. Interesting. So that probably means then that this does output composite, but only when it's tuned to a channel, maybe. And then this, when it's tuned to a channel, feeds it upstream, likely into the bigger the system on chip, which then puts it all back together with the menu and outputs it as LCD. It outputs it to the LCD. What's this chip? It's pulse chip. I'm just going to just examine a few things here just to see. So we know what that AKM is. Pulsus. Maybe something to do with PULSUSPS 8738. Okay, no good. What is it? Okay, we need to find out what that is. DAC. Oh, it's a digital audio converter. Okay. It looks like it's a DAC. Oh, now it knows if from America it doesn't like it or something. I don't know. I just want the data sheet. Why can't I get the data sheet? Huh. Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, well, I don't know what these things are. We'll have to figure them out. Well, that's interesting. What's that? Oh, it's just a piece. It's the hair. Okay, I thought it was a piece of metal. Okay, so that AKM, it takes that signal and then it's sending it out to get to this chip. I want to just have a look at how this chip is actually put on the board. Is it? It's BGA. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's not really going to be a whole lot of. The only thing I could do is see if there's any test pins around. If there's any test pins around this thing. I guess I didn't really look over the whole board before I went on my journey here, but there is quite a few. I mean, there's a lot of test pins off this board. We could test to see if one of them is. Yeah, I don't know what's going. Like those look like test points, but I don't know what those are. Those definitely look like test points. Big old test points. Let's see how view again. Now, what are these test points? I'm just gonna bring the probe over, see what happens. See what are these? One second now. All right, we might give up if we can't get the. Right, it's not there. Yeah, don't see anything there. is some signal on that. I can see on the... Don't know what that is. Ooh, there's a lot of signal on that one. And on that one. Little signal on this one. JTAG, yeah. A lot of activity on it, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing to interface in JTAG with, though, right? But I guess I mean, for testing, you would. Oh, strange. That means the overlay must be generated inside this chip. What's this thing? Actually, let's just have a look at what this chip is. This Hynix chip. I'm interested. My guess is that the Hynix chip is something to do with NTSC decoding. Hynix H5 PS5 162 FF4 162 FF4. Oh, it's RAM. Okay, well, not that interesting. What about this guy down here? What's he? Taiwan. 2SL32. 2SL32. 05D. 05D. And it looks like M21. Or maybe M2I. Let me have a look here. It could be M2I, but so many numbers on it. 5D. Actually, I think it's an I, isn't it? I think it's M2I. Well, that didn't match anything. Okay, so we don't know what that is. Test points on it. Okay. Square through hole would be ground. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Strange stuff. Strange stuff, Master. I don't know. I'm disappointed. I guess, it's just this one's just not going to happen for me, or at least not easily. So I'm kind of disappointed with that. So at least I know I didn't fry my capture card. That's good. But I'm probably going to call it a night because it's just that's probably as far as I'm going to get tonight. It's 11 o'clock and haven't found the composite. So yeah, I don't know whether we will find one now. Maybe I'll just look for another donor. Need a really small card. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. And we'll see how far we get with this project. Take care. Bye bye, man.